Okay, so I've drawn out my composition as you saw in the last video, and now what I'm going to do is start adding my paint. So we spoke in the last video about how I'm going to leave the middle of mine white, and this is so that when I put my sweet on top I can see that nice and clearly. But I've got a few areas towards the edges where I am going to have a little bit of overlap, and that's fine, I'm quite happy with that. So I've got 3 primary colours here on my palette, and I'm not going to use them as primaries, even though these ones are. I quite like warm colours, so I think what I'm going to do is take some of mine and just mix them together and make some slightly more orangey tones with what I've got in front of me. Now, when we're painting in the style of pop art, the colours themselves are very flat. They might be applied in different patterns or textures, like this one here, which is in dots, but the colours themselves are very flat. And how we get a flat colour when we paint is by using long, thick brush strokes. So you want to load your brush with paint, and then if you twist it, you'll give yourself a nice point on the end of your brush. And you want to lay your brush down and don't take it up to the edge that you want to paint. If you imagine your bristles are shaped like that, and when they push down onto a surface, they spread outwards. So when you paint with them, you want to take them not to the edge of the line, but then push down so those bristles splay out and then they meet the edge of the line that you want to paint up to. And this will help you get a nice, tidy, clean line on the edge of your painting, like so. So what I'm going to do now is very quickly go round, paint all of this in. I want you to look at the colours that I'm choosing to paint in, and then start thinking about the sorts of colours that you want to use in your work. Everybody will have a different idea how they want those colours to appear, and ultimately it's up to you. But what we want is nice long brush strokes, nice smooth paint. Turn it round so that you're not leaning across your paint to reach certain areas, and then you'll get a really nice flat painted surface. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish painting this. I'll speed this up for you guys so you don't have to sit through the amount of time that it takes me. Just keep an eye on those painting techniques, look at how I'm staying within my lines, and make a note of the colours that I'm using. Okay, so you can see there that I've painted all of my background and I've chosen my colours, and you can see when I did these dots, unfortunately some of them got caught under the paper towel there, so they've smudged a little bit, which is a bit silly, but I used the end of my paintbrush. Now that's fine, but you must remember when you've done that to just make sure that you clean the whole paintbrush really carefully. Obviously these materials get shared out with other people in your class, so just make sure that you get them clean after every use. And you can see here that, yeah, so I've used these dots because, again, if I show you this picture just here, you can see the blue dots on the surface, and that's very indicative of a piece of pop art, and I wanted to make sure that I included that in my composition. So that's my one finished, and in the next video I'll show you how to put your sweet on top.